traversing treacherous landscapes from barren hillsides to dense, shadow-filled forests and enduring freezing cold. A number of skilled marksmen engage in strategic operations to protect farmland, crops, and livestock from the increasing threats posed by wild boars. These wild animals, known for their strength and unpredictability, have been causing significant disruption to local agriculture and rural livelihoods across various regions. To contain this issue, hunters are often called upon to manage the growing population, especially in areas where boars have damaged fields or threatened communities. One coordinated operation commenced at dawn, with a hunting unit arriving and quickly taking their designated positions at the base of a rugged hillside. As the team dispersed strategically, a sudden gunshot echoed from the eastern sector. A wild boar had entered an open area, and a precise shot brought it down immediately. Within moments, a series of gunfire erupted across the terrain as the ambush closed in. It was a swift, well-executed maneuver, an effective beginning to a day focused on controlling wildlife and safeguarding the environment. Simultaneously, in a western region of France, another group had positioned themselves atop a hill, awaiting signs of movement. After only a few minutes, a wild boar emerged, foraging unaware of the hunters nearby. A calculated shot was made, ending the threat quickly and cleanly, preventing any potential damage to nearby property or crops. The operation exemplified a measured approach, one that prioritized accuracy, efficiency, and public safety. Further inland, another team established their vantage point on a windswept hill. Carefully observing their surroundings, they remained vigilant. Soon, the silence was broken by the sound of movement, and a wild boar burst from the underbrush. With a calm, practiced approach, the hunter aligned the shot and dispatched the target before it could escape or cause harm. The precision demonstrated here underscored the importance of patience and sharp observation in such environments. In the dense forests of Italy, yet another team had tracked signs of wild boars from early morning. The thick tree cover made visibility difficult, but the hunters remained alert. When one of them spotted a boar rushing through the trees, likely disturbed by nearby sounds, a single well-timed shot brought the animal down. Additional gunfire echoed shortly after, indicating that other threats had also been neutralized. The sequence of actions illustrated how knowledge of animal behavior and swift response are vital components in managing wildlife intrusions. Even as these efforts unfolded, in a snow-covered forest facing bitter temperatures, another operation was underway. Despite the extreme cold, one marksman maintained his position with focus. A large wild boar emerged against the snowy backdrop. Reacting swiftly, the marksman executed a clean shot, resulting in the collapse of two sizable boars within seconds. These efforts contributed significantly to the region's ongoing goal of preserving agricultural integrity and minimizing risks to the local population. The Mediterranean region has not been immune to the challenges posed by wild boars. One of the most heavily impacted areas is Calcerola Hill, where the animals have been responsible for extensive damage to vegetation and property. An experienced team was dispatched to address the situation. Despite the early hour and lingering fog, the group deployed their hunting dogs to trace any remaining signs. As the canines flushed out a target from dense foliage, the hunter took position and delivered a decisive shot once the animal emerged. Each encounter described reflects a broader mission of wildlife control aimed not at sport, but at restoring balance between humans and nature. Through careful coordination, respect for ecosystems, and a clear focus on public safety, these operations help reduce the conflict between rural communities and increasingly bold wild animal populations. In a remote European forest, a coordinated wildlife control team recently managed to prevent further agricultural damage in a region historically threatened by large wild boars. Operating in rough terrain, the team navigated winding off-road trails into dense woodland areas. Upon arrival, they quickly spread out, employing tracking methods to locate signs of recent animal activity. As one of the trackers neared a suspected location, a sudden gunshot rang out nearby. Moments later, a large dark figure believed to be a wild boar moved quickly through the trees. A calm and calculated response followed, with a series of well-aimed shots ultimately halting the animal's advance. The boar collapsed shortly thereafter on the forest floor. This action prevented potential damage to farmland and underscored the importance of composure and training in such high-pressure moments. The operation then shifted toward the southern mountainous regions of Italy, where wild boars have increasingly exploited rugged terrain to remain hidden while continuing to disturb local agriculture. At dawn, another response team quietly positioned themselves along the hillsides, adapting to the challenging environment and awaiting any movement. Eventually, a lone wild boar was spotted foraging, unaware it had entered a monitored zone. A single, carefully aimed shot was sufficient to neutralize the threat instantly, preventing any need for pursuit or confrontation. This demonstrated the efficiency and precision with which such teams operate to mitigate ecological disruption. Further missions led a separate unit deep into the forest's interior. Avoiding open fields and vantage points, they focused on navigating narrow paths surrounded by dense vegetation. Their strategy proved successful when a wild boar emerged within range. A swift, controlled shot ensured that no further damage could occur in that area. In another sector, an experienced team, accompanied by well-trained tracking dogs, followed recent boar activity through thick underbrush. After roughly 30 minutes, the dogs signaled the presence of a large boar, estimated at nearly 400 pounds, near the forest edge. The animal attempted to escape through the trees, but the team acted decisively, bringing it down before it could break free and cause widespread damage. The impact on the landscape was clear. Vegetation had been uprooted, and the area showed visible signs of recent animal disturbance. Wild boars, known for their adaptability and strong foraging instincts, have been documented uprooting entire fields in a single night. Their diet includes roots, insects, and even carrion, and their tendency to dig relentlessly leaves cultivated land in a state of disrepair. These behaviors have created a growing urgency among rural communities and landowners to implement population control measures. Efforts continued in vast open fields across various regions, including parts of the American South, where operations began early in the day. With tracking dogs leading the way, teams took up hidden positions in anticipation of movement. After a long period of silence, the sound of barking indicated contact had been made. The rustling in nearby vegetation signaled the approach of a target. As wild boars began to emerge, teams responded swiftly. Multiple targets were intercepted at close range, while others retreated into cover. In particularly grassy regions known for boar activity, strategic placement of skilled shooters proved effective. One such shot brought down a boar as it emerged from thick cover, neutralizing the threat with precision. In another instance, a radio tracking signal indicated that a boar had escaped initial interception. Acting quickly, a nearby member moved toward the area and successfully intercepted the animal before it could reach farmland. A single, well-timed shot ensured the safety of nearby crops. As operations progressed, multiple sightings continued. In one case, a large boar was spotted charging through tall, dry grass. Responding quickly, a rapid series of shots brought the animal down. The team then advanced to other areas, showing signs of boar movement, continuing their efforts to restore balance to the affected ecosystems. In the dense forest near the edge of a clearing, a strategic decision was made to remain behind and take up a concealed position. As the last rays of daylight slipped behind the treetops, the stillness of the forest was broken by a faint rustling. A wild boar, attempting to stay hidden, cautiously emerged from the brush. Upon detecting a presence nearby, the animal panicked and bolted into the open, creating a sudden burst of action. A well-aimed shot halted the boar's escape, effectively neutralizing a potential threat to local farmland. As dusk deepened, time became a critical factor. The goal was to intercept any remaining wild boars before darkness overtook the forest. Suddenly, another large boar charged out of the underbrush. In response, a swift and precise shot ensured there was no chance for retreat. The animal fell immediately, its movement ceasing. Elsewhere, in open fields under the vast Texas sky, aerial efforts were underway to manage the growing wild hog population. These animals, weighing up to 400 pounds and capable of running at 30 miles per hour, have inflicted extensive damage across the region. They are known to destroy crops, harm livestock, and even endanger people. Estimates suggest these animals contribute to over $2.5 billion in agricultural damage annually throughout the United States. Due to the high risk and speed involved, pursuing them from the ground often proves inefficient and hazardous. As a result, aerial methods using helicopters have been employed for more effective population control. From above, tracking the wild hogs through fields and brush becomes far more manageable. When the rotor blades stirred the tall grass, one animal revealed its location by attempting to flee. A single shot brought it down swiftly. Not far away, more fresh tracks led to another wild hog, which also attempted an escape. A follow-up shot ensured it could not get far. These strategic aerial operations continued as the helicopter moved over thicker brush, guided by fresh signs of activity. As the aircraft approached, the sound of the rotors scattered the herd. With precision, each hog was tracked and intercepted to prevent further damage to the surrounding lands. The coordinated effort left the fields dotted with wild hog remains, marking the progress of the population control operation. A vast open field, often frequented by wild hogs, served as the next site of action. These animals, normally bold in their destruction of farmland, reacted with panic upon hearing the approach of the helicopter. The team on board remained steadfast, moving in closer to secure the area. Gunfire echoed through the open space, and each shot was carefully placed to reduce the animals' numbers. One by one, they were stopped in their tracks. As the evening sun began to sink, the operation neared its final phase. The remaining wild hogs attempted to retreat into dense foliage, but aerial tracking provided a clear advantage. Sweeping low across the terrain, the aircraft allowed for visual confirmation of movement beneath the canopy. Precise and continuous gunfire ensured that even the fastest individuals could not escape. These coordinated efforts serve a vital purpose: to protect crops, preserve livestock, and ensure the safety of communities. With ecological balance in mind, such operations aim to reduce the impact of invasive wild hog populations in the most humane and controlled manner possible. Under the bright sky and amidst the challenge of thick terrain, this strategy continues to prove effective in mitigating the widespread destruction caused by these formidable animals.